So I was downstairs, kind of like trying to reply back to family members because, people typically reach out to you a lot when things happen to you, like when bad things happen or unfortunate situations happen. Usually it's procedure for family members to like reach out and like, offer condolences or support or whatever, depending on the situation. So, in short, without giving too much information away, my mom is battling an illness right now. A serious one that's very common, and it is one of the most unpredictable illnesses you can have. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but just for her protection, I'm just going to leave it pretty simple. And so, kind of like with my dad passing, when people like reach out a lot, it's overwhelming a little bit, just because in my experience, number one, I'm an only child, so naturally I'm like to myself a lot, and it's not a bad thing for me to be alone necessarily. I just am used to like handling things a certain way, so I'm very much internal with the way I handle things, pretty quiet and like reserved. So doing a lot of back and forth and reaching out and calling and things, it's never been my area of expertise, and I'm just kind of close to people that I'm close to, and like it's not an issue with other people. It's just I gel with the people I gel with, and even those people I'm not consistent with communication. But in this particular instance, I don't know, life is just hitting me hard, and I figured it's a good time to pick up the camera from the last mental update video that I did when I was speaking about depression. I still have not committed to the idea that I am actually depressed. I just don't know enough about depression and the way it works, but I haven't, taken it off the table. I just have a hard time using words to like, I have a hard time, labeling myself with words lately. But anyway, I figured it was a good time to pick up the camera. I had been recording small videos giving you updates when I was feeling better, but it just didn't feel like how I usually feel when I post a video like this. It didn't feel like it, so I never posted them. But in this case, I just feel like this is something that I want to put on my channel because I'd like to see it later and analyze it later and listen to it, and I'm sure that people can use me as a mirror or in whatever you guys are dealing with, because if it's one thing that's common, it's that this whole past year and the beginning of 2021 has really been a shifting experience in a lot of people's lives, and a huge awakening series of events for a lot of people. And in my case, it's just kind of like a cruel joke. Not even a joke. I don't want to call it a joke, but it's just like a cruel and unusual situation because, and I'm going to be very raw and honest because that's just what helps my development. That's the only way that I can be self-aware and make improvements. What's messed up about this is that not only is my one remaining parent sick, and very sick if you ask me, but unfortunately the way that I'm thinking right now is that it wouldn't surprise me if she was more, how do you say, taken away from me, or if something were to happen to her where now I'm down to zero. And I understand that a parent doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you are biologically related to. A parent can just be a person in your life that has taken on the guardian role. But in my case, both of my blood parents had taken on the guardian role, as they should. And so for them not to be here, it's like a tough adjustment. Basically, it wouldn't surprise me if I was down to 0 parents. And how you interpret that is how I'm saying it. It wouldn't surprise me if I didn't have any parents, just because some days I feel like it's kind of like life trying to teach me a lesson, but lately I've been resonating more with like a nihilistic point of view on life and my existence, and on those days it feels like it's not a personal attack, which sometimes feels worse, because it's like, okay, so I didn't do anything personally, it's just my turn to suffer. There's no comfort in that. That actually is like one of those, it just feels insane. And it feels like if life works that way, wow. Kind of would rather it be personal. At least I know that, like, that would explain why people always say, you know, why don't bad people get what they deserve, and why do good people, it always seems like good people get such a hard end of the stick. And that kind of would explain that. It would kind of explain that, like, it's because none of this has like any deeper meaning. It's just kind of like a roll of the dice kind of thing. And I know that that goes against a lot of people's beliefs, and I'm very aware, and I do not mean to offend anybody, I'm very aware of how faith works and how hope works and how people need that. They need that to keep going. I was saying that I understand how faith works for people. I understand the importance of having hope because it allows you to keep moving forward. And I totally get that, and I would never take that away from anyone. No matter what you believe, that's your way of moving forward. And I get that. And those people are really strong, especially given once you really look and unfold and pull back the layers of what's really happening in your reality, because you can't really resonate too much with other people's as much as you think you can. You can never truly see through another person's eyes. But as much as you can, I respect people who have, you know, whatever beliefs that allow them to keep moving forward. So my camera's gonna die soon, and it's no reason for me to charge it and pick it back up later and try to talk about this later. It won't be as raw. So I'm just gonna end it off here. And just say that, like, in this case, I feel like I have to choose the chaos, and I have to willingly choose and do my best on the path that is what life just is. I have to be willing to go forward and do my best, knowing the hurdles and the obstacles are going to come. And so that is where I'm at with things right now. It's either give up and submit and be crushed, or decide to willingly move forward with what happens, whatever it is that happens. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to be emotional. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to break down and feel terrible, because feelings change, and you are allowed to change your feelings and how you view things. But yeah, that's where I'm at, accepting what is to come on this timeline that I'm experiencing. And I hope that you choose to do the same and be willing to push forward no matter what, because you just have to. What's the alternative? You just have to. You just have to do your best, and there's still things that I want to see and I want to experience and I want to be a part of. So I have to move forward. The videos that I post will be old because this is what is going on with me right now, so just bear with me, and I'm going to try my best to put more into this channel. Things may be out of order a little bit, but you know, It's just the way the cookie crumbled. So I hope you guys are pushing through with the best you can, and I wish you well.